That's going to be the position. That means it's not going to change the position. As you'll see here in a moment, when I say define update self underscore POS. So we might add other variables into here later on, but as of right now, we're worried about, we want to know that we're passing it that basically it's self, so this player, so that's what that's saying here. And POS will be position, and so basically this will be anytime you hit key left or right, or any other functions we add later on to our character, it's going to run this update. Actually, it's going to run it each time the main while loop runs. But if a key is pressed, it's going to pass it a new position, which will move our character left and right on the screen. And if we pass it a 0, which we did in this case, it's not going to move it. So basically what we're doing here is we're creating our main character, setting up all the images and speeds, and then we're updating the screen but not moving him at this point. Now we're going to say if POS, the position, does not equal 0, what are we going to do? So if it equals 0, we're not moving it, so we're going to skip over a whole bunch of this stuff. But if it doesn't equal 0, we are going to then take the self.any underscore speed equals minus equals 1. So we're going to subtract 1 from whatever it equals. So at this point it starts off at 10, now it'll equal 9. Then we're going to say self.x, which right now is 200, right there. And we are going to say to that plus equals POS. So whatever the position that is passed to it, which will change when we're in a minute when we're adding left and right arrow keys here, it will take where it is located now, which is 200, and add that amount to it. So instead of just saying, well, position is 200, then 300, we're going to be able to add to it. Once again, if you're familiar with game design, I think you'll understand what I'm saying here. Now we're going to say if its self animation speed equals 0, what are we going to do? Well, in this case, it starts at 10, and each time it's going to subtract 1. So for the most part, it's going to skip this until it gets to 0, and then what's going to happen? Well, that's when we're going to change the frame, because we have 4 frames in the animation. If we're looping at 60 frames a second, that'd be a really fast animation for the character to loop through. So it's only going to change every 10 loops, so that would be 6 times a second, right? I think so. So now we're going to say self.image equals, and at this point we're going to change the image. So as the character is moving, as it's looping through, it's only going to change the image, update the image of our character every 10 loops. We're going to load self.any, and now we're going to say, before we did 0, because that's the default position, but we want to update, and we're going to say self.any underscore POS. Oops. Which should equal a number from 0 to 3. 0 through 3. Next, we're going to say self.any underscore speed equals self.any underscore speed underscore initial, or init. So basically, when it gets back to 0, it's going to reset to whatever the initial speed was, the initial number. So that will keep it at the same rate. Once again, this allows us to change this number. A higher number would be a slower animation. The lower the number, the faster it changes. If we were to set this to 1, our animation would change at 60 frames a second at most. So next, we're going to say if self.any underscore POS equals self.any max. So that's underscore max. Here we're going to say self.any underscore POS will now equal 0. So what we're doing here is we know there's a certain number of frames in our animation. In this case, it's 4. And since the array starts at 0, we're going to say 3, 0, 1, 2, and 3. But we counted that up here. So once again, this allows us, if we add new frames to our animation, like we wanted more than 4 frames, we wanted to animate 6 frames of our character to make it a smoother animation, we don't have to go and change that each time we add a new frame. This right here will automatically find out how many frames there are, subtract 1 since the array once again starts at 0, and if we hit that max, so when we get to, in this case, frame number 4, which is 3 in the array, we are going to reset the position to 0. And that's not the position on the screen, that's the position in our animation, 0, 1, 2, and 3. When it gets to 3, then it goes back to 0. Next, we're going to say, I'm just thinking about something, if that's right, or if I want to say is greater than. We'll plus play with that in a minute. We'll see how the animation looks. We're going to say else self.any underscore POS plus equals 1. So right now, if we're on the first frame, this will add it to it and will become frame 1, then frame 2, frame 3, and when it reaches frame 3, it will go back to frame 0. And that's exactly why I think that I need to change this to greater than, but we'll see in a moment. Or I can say plus 1. Either way. Now we're going to say screen dot split. So we're going to draw the new image self.img, which we may have changed right here. We're going to blit that to the screen. And where are we going to blit it? We're going to blit it to self.x and self.y. So basically, in this particular case, self.y isn't going to change, although we might add a jumping feature later on, in which case it would. But it should move our character left and right based on our key presses, which we have not entered in yet. But also we need to do is down here before our while loop, we need to create our player. So we're going to say player1 equals player. So that's our class up here. Our class is called player. So we're creating a new object based on the class we just wrote. And we're also going to set POS equal to 0. Which you'll see why here in a moment. Okay. So now in our while loop, we're going to add all our key presses. Let's just start off with, well, let's run our script right now and see what we, we'll just get a black screen because we haven't, okay. At this point, let's go ahead and add into here, into our main loop, player1.update POS. This will, every loop, run this update, which will reblit the character to the screen. And in this case, the position that is going to be passed to it is 0. So he won't be moving. We can't move him or anything, but we should see the character on the screen at this point. Oh, I typed something wrong. Player has no attribute img. I must have typed something wrong at some point. Self img. Type in something wrong. We just say what line 37 update. Troubleshooting here. Self img, it says we were creating that up here, which should have run. Oh, there's our problem. I missed an underscore here, so it didn't recognize that as the initiate, so it didn't create all the stuff in here because it didn't realize that's what it's supposed to do when it starts it. Now we should run it. Let me drag this onto the screen here. There's our character. He doesn't do anything yet. Close that. We're going to say vim main.py. And once again, I'm using Vim as my text editor. Use whatever text editor you prefer. Now we're going to add in the key presses. Our character class, as far as his walking and stuff, is all set up. We just need to tell it when to do that. So in this case, and yes, I know that I can set up Vim to tab at certain spaces. I have not set that up. I know everyone comments. Someone will comment every time if I do spaces to get a tab. That's just, yeah. Just letting you know I can set Vim up to do that. So anyway, here we're going to set when the event, so a user input, when the type is a key down, and that event key equals the key of right. And this is case sensitive, so all capital there. So that's when our right arrow key is pressed down. What are we going to do? Well, at this point, we're going to change POS to equal 1. Then we're going to say else if event.type equals key down, and, or sorry, in this case, key up. Once again, all case sensitive, so if I'm typing it capital, you should type it capital as well. So if the right arrow key is pressed down, we're saying position to equal to 0. And when it's lifted, we're going to reset POS equal to 0. I think I said 0 before. When it's down, it's 1. When it's up, it's 0. Let's go ahead, save that, run our script. There's our character, and if I press right arrow, it crashes. Oh, because I have a typo. That should say speed right there. So, update. Should have read the line number, but I should see there it is. Sure, some of you saw that when I typed it. You should have said something. Okay, here we go. Here's our character, and if I press right arrow, he will walk backwards. Right now we have nothing for walking forwards. Forward. And here, just to save time, people get pissed when I do this sometimes, but I'm just going to copy and paste this. Never supposed to copy and paste code. Yes, I know. In this case, we're just going to change this from key right to key left. Same with this here. And we're going to set that to -1, so he'll go the other way when you press left. Save that. I'll drag this up here. Now if I press the left arrow, he walks left. If I press right arrow, he walks right. And I think he kind of looks like he's skipping a little bit, and I think that's because of what I was saying before. Let me see if this crashes the program. If I change this to if it's greater than max. Yep, that crashed it. I don't know, kind of looks like he's skipping a little bit, but that may just be my imagination. Should be going through all 4 frames. Maybe there's supposed to be more frames in the animation. What I downloaded was missing one. So anyway, he walks that way, and he walks that way. Anyway, that's it for this tutorial, which was probably 2 videos long. Obviously, check the description. Hopefully, I'll have this script up. And I might add more to this script just for fun. I mean, we could make it flip the characters so he turns which way you walk. And also, yeah, I'm going to work on this more, because if you're pressing right arrow and you press left arrow before you completely let up on the right arrow, or vice versa, it kind of freezes him and then you have to let go. So there is better ways of doing this, but I'm just getting you the basic idea. Play with it. Share your code if you play with this and improve it at all. And I'll work on more videos on this script and post those hopefully soon. Maybe even the same day I post this one. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.